Epstein files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. 8 million children go missing every single year. Look at all these people with black eyes. Politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people. They all participate. This is an email from the Epstein files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging.
I think you're the devil himself.
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it. A heart.
But you earned it.
They said Jay-Z was my dad. They said
we out here on vacation in the Bahamas. Another beautiful day. Check it out. Check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception.
Versus. Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man. Yeah, okay. I can say clone. I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone bag
A lot of celebrities were allegedly pulled into this entire situation, and one name that keeps getting dragged back into the spotlight is Bryshere Gray. Before anyone twists this into facts, let's be crystal clear. This is all speculation, period. Unless Bryce himself comes forward and breaks his silence, nobody truly knows what went on behind closed doors. Still, online chatter keeps pointing toward powerful figures like Sean Combs, Jeffrey Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein being tied to a much larger system that allegedly mistreated and manipulated people without real power, if you're reading between the lines. Katt Williams has been warning about this type of industry behavior for years, saying the truth always leaks eventually, and now a lot of people feel that moment is finally here. Bryce's name keeps resurfacing, but most of the blame online only circles Will Smith and Diddy, while Epstein's name was oddly missing from early conversations, which made people pause. What really shook fans is watching Bryce go from being hyped as one of Hollywood's brightest young actors to publicly struggling and trying to make money online in ways nobody expected, especially for such little return. Then things reportedly took an even darker turn when police were called during a serious mental health crisis involving Bryce, where he was allegedly in danger of hurting himself.
Was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do shit about it. Bilal told me everything.
Their good friend who
Bilal told me, Jay, he told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child, as he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
In that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal. Now I don't give no how far in the desert you run. You'll go from a Philly to a sand, but they'll still get you.
He's Philly though, Jay. It's Philly.
He Meek Milk. As far as I'm concerned, he Meek Milk. I ain't calling him Mill no more. That's milk. That's Meek Milk. Added to the honeycomb. You got a meal.
So you believe the Dwayne Martin story that could have happened?
Of course, everybody knows that.
Sexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bryshere Gray. Left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Ooh. Huh.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down.
That moment snapped people out of joke mode and made it clear this wasn't just messy gossip. Now Bryce is said to be battling heavy substance issues and living far outside the Hollywood spotlight, leaving many asking the same question. How does someone fall this hard, this fast, and who really failed him along the way? According to long-running rumors, the root of everything traces back to a so-called mentorship program in Hollywood that looked polished on the outside but allegedly offered very little real protection behind the scenes. Katt Williams and Jaguar Wright have been the loudest voices pushing this conversation forward, even while critics tried to dismiss them as dramatic or unstable. Street Talk says Katt speaks with such fire because he's felt similar industry pressure himself, and he refuses to play quiet when uncomfortable truths are involved.
Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your in and I'ma go to work North Philly style. Fuck you. And Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You CI that came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate. You and Charlie Mack.
A key point people keep circling back to is this: Katt didn't fold. By his own account, the industry tested him early, but it couldn't bend him. Katt has said that Harvey Weinstein allegedly made an inappropriate advance during a visit to Jeffrey Epstein's property when Katt was just starting out and Katt walked away. He's also claimed that speaking up too early came with consequences, saying doors closed and opportunities dried up simply because he refused to stay silent. Now let's slow this down and add context to how Bryshere Gray allegedly got pulled into all this in the first place.
As his mom brought Yaz to Charlie, and Charlie came and got me and was like, "What you want to do?" I started writing for Yaz, like that's why it makes me mad to see what's going on with him right now. Like I can't believe what I'm watching.
Right.
I can't believe what I'm watching. Like, for you to flip that way and turn like you doing gay porn, and like, what is wrong with you, man? No disrespect to anybody gay, but it's just like,
because it was him.
It's a kid I watched from a grow up, so it's like, and then like the mental issues that he have. You feel what I'm saying? I know he had mental issues. Like, he ain't all the way there. So to watch all this happening, it's like, all right, where all the people that was around when the money was?
Door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up. Murder, like, it was murder. I'm in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you, and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his piss. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have No idea. So he crying, no is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen, I stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada will watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm gonna let people know who you've been hitting with them deals. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do, period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass going to jail, period. There's no if, there's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start the process.
Rumors say it began with his former manager, Charlie Mack, who reportedly connected Bryce to Will Smith and Sean Combs through that same mentorship label. This was right as Bryce was gaining buzz from Empire, so from the outside it looked like a dream setup. Everything appeared clean, supportive, and strategic, like Bryce was being groomed for long-term success, not quietly pushed into something much heavier. But behind the scenes, a lot of people now believe that mentorship was the last thing actually going on. While fans thought Bryce was being trained, protected, and lifted up, rumors suggest he was being pressured, controlled, and placed in situations nobody wants to openly spell out. Looking back, many say the warning signs were there the whole time, but they were ignored because the people involved were too powerful to question. Around that same period, Sean Combs was reportedly facing serious legal scrutiny and federal attention tied to allegations of misconduct, according to court filings that later surfaced, which makes the timing look even more suspicious. Industry insiders claim investigators didn't just look at one person either. They allegedly questioned other powerful figures about what was really happening behind closed doors, including rumors of exploitation and abuse of influence. But at that point, Diddy's reach in the industry was massive, and people say that level of power made it easy for uncomfortable stories to get buried before they ever reached the public. What really made people side-eye the whole situation is how these stories keep getting quietly wiped away. Posts go up, gain traction, and then suddenly vanish, especially when they involve major names. That pattern alone had folks feeling like something was being protected. But things didn't fully click for the public until Jaguar Wright finally spoke out and started laying out detailed allegations about what Will Smith and Diddy were allegedly doing behind the scenes with Bryshere Gray. Once she started talking, people began revisiting old clips, old rumors, and ignored interviews, suddenly realizing the dots had been there all along. According to Jaguar Wright, there were moments during these so-called mentorship situations where things allegedly went completely off the rails. She claimed there was an incident at Will Smith's home where Bryshere Gray and Meek Mill were so terrified that they ran out in pure panic, genuinely fearing for their safety. What actually triggered that moment has never been confirmed, but Jaguar suggested it was intense, chaotic, and shocking enough to send them fleeing without even stopping to think. Those claims shook people badly because they painted a picture far darker than anything fans ever imagined happening behind those gates. Jaguar also alleged that disturbing behavior was treated like it was normal inside these homes. She said young men were allegedly made to feel trapped, pressured, and afraid during situations that were sold as career opportunities. That part hit especially hard when people remembered how young and vulnerable Bryce was at the time, still trying to figure out who he was and how the industry worked. The imbalance of power made many viewers say this wasn't just messy or scandalous. It sounded outright dangerous. Things got even heavier when Bryce's mother was pulled into the conversation. Jaguar suggested she was panicked, overwhelmed, and begging for help once she realized her son was spiraling out of control. According to her, she warned repeatedly that Bryce needed to be pulled far away from Charlie Mack, who she believed was the main link connecting Bryce to Will and Diddy. Jaguar even claimed some documents hinted at powerful figures competing for influence, which left people feeling sick and angry. To many watching from the outside, it looked like young artists were being moved around like chess pieces, while nobody truly stepped up to protect them. But here's where the story gets even more frustrating and hard to watch. According to Jaguar Wright, Andrea was warned over and over again to pull Bryshere Gray away from certain people, especially Charlie Mack, who was allegedly acting as the main connector between Bryce and some extremely powerful industry names. Jaguar claimed she personally begged Andrea to create immediate distance, stressing that nothing good was coming out of that circle and that the situation would only get worse. But instead of cutting ties, Bryce reportedly stayed in that environment for several more years, and by the time the public finally saw the damage, many felt he was already emotionally, mentally, and spiritually drained. Jaguar insisted she didn't just talk, she tried to step in wherever she could. She claimed she attempted to steer Bryce towards safer opportunities and away from situations that felt off or dangerous. But she also pointed out how hard it is to pull a young artist away once powerful people have their hooks in them. According to her, Bryce allegedly confided that he felt passed around in elite circles, describing experiences that left him confused, ashamed, and deeply hurt. Then Bilal entered the picture and took the conversation to another level entirely. A lot of people believed him fast because he had already made explosive claims about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith that caused major controversy before. Bilal described walking into situations he said were shocking and disturbing, painting a picture fans never expected to hear tied to such high-profile figures. His dramatic, detailed storytelling is exactly why the internet grabbed onto it and refused to let go. But the most serious and disturbing claims surfaced when Bilal said Bryshere Gray completely broke down during a night in Chicago. According to Bilal, Bryce had taken an unsafe amount of substances and hit an emotional wall he couldn't hide anymore. Bilal alleged that in that raw, vulnerable moment, Bryce opened up and confessed that he had been mistreated, pressured, and manipulated by powerful people in the industry who were supposed to be guiding him. These are extremely heavy accusations, and they remain unproven. But the emotional weight behind the story left a lot of people stunned and uneasy. Bilal also claimed he had been specifically asked to look after Bryce during that Chicago trip tied to Empire, and that's when everything allegedly spilled out. He described Bryce as overwhelmed, unstable, and clearly in distress, saying it was obvious he was carrying trauma that went far beyond career stress. Hearing someone describe a young actor unraveling like that made people stop treating this like gossip and start seeing it as something far more serious. And as expected, the comment section absolutely exploded. One person said straight up that what allegedly happened to Bryce was wrong on every level, calling it a tragic waste of real talent. They said Bryce had so much promise and that fans feel betrayed by the people who were supposed to protect him, not break him down. That same commenter admitted they struggle to watch projects connected to Will Smith now because the whole situation leaves a bad taste that won't fade. Another commenter pushed it even further, saying this explains why Will has been under non-stop scrutiny lately. They claimed his polished public image no longer matches the rumors swirling around him, and people are finally questioning everything. Some fans even pointed out that family distance and industry silence can speak louder than statements, especially when the same powerful names keep resurfacing in messy conversations like this. Others compared Will to other controversial figures in the industry, saying the same circles keep overlapping and the same accusations keep resurfacing. Whether those claims are fair or not, the public clearly isn't buying the clean image narrative anymore. And when Katt Williams puts someone on blast, people listen because he's been right before. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Will Smith allegedly being exposed by Katt for his role in Bryshere Gray's downfall? Do you believe the rumors go deeper than what we already know? Or do you think people are reaching and connecting dots that don't belong together? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click here to check out this next messy video. I'll see you on the next one. Others went even further and started comparing Will Smith to other controversial figures in the industry, saying the same elite circles keep overlapping and the same types of accusations keep resurfacing no matter how hard they get pushed down. Whether those claims are fair or not, one thing is obvious. The public is no longer buying the squeaky clean image the way they used to. Too many stories, too many coincidences, and too much silence have made people skeptical. And when Katt Williams puts someone on blast, folks pay attention because he's been early and right before, even when nobody wanted to hear it. So now the question is wide open. What do you think about Will Smith allegedly being exposed by Katt in connection to Bryshere Gray's downfall? Do you believe these rumors point to something deeper that hasn't fully come out yet? Or do you think the internet is reaching and stitching together dots that don't actually belong? Sound off in the comments below, hit that like button if this made you think, subscribe for more stories they don't want talked about, and click here to watch the next messy video. I'll see you on the next one.